Earlier today, an Anaconda video was posted by ValeSkiBum94. For those of you who don't know his channel, he's a YouTuber who talks about animation news, reviews, and behind-the-scenes videos. I highly recommend you check out his channel. I got to know his work a couple years ago through his Gravity Falls videos, talking about the behind-the-scenes. He's shown some love my way. I wanted to respond to this Anaconda video. It's going to be talking about the divorce story. I'm going to be poking some fun at it, but please know this is all done in good fun. So, with that being said, let's begin.
There's a handful of shows out there that everyone just agrees never to mention again, but today it's time to unbury a nightmare. Angela Anaconda!
Woohoo! Oh yeah, believe it or not, there are actually fans of Anaconda out there. Case in point.
What started out as just a series of shorts on Nickelodeon's Kablam in the 90s eventually turned into a full-length cartoon that would last around 2 years. This centers around an 8-year-old girl named Angela who lives in Tapwater Springs and goes on various adventures with her friends. What people recognize immediately is its unique style, and that makes sense. The way every character moves around, and how their faces closely resemble real-life people, all of this just feels super unsettling.
Or, creative.
You also had these dark colors in every scene, giving off the vibe that you're in a never-ending Halloween special.
Good thing Halloween's a lot of people's favorite holiday.
Angela Anaconda is mostly forgotten by the majority of people today.
Agree to disagree.
Since it didn't have much of an impact on the landscape of animation.
I would also argue that if there was truly nothing of value in it, we wouldn't be talking about it today. And yet here we are.
That being said, there's a surprising story that goes along with the series, one that everyone knows more than the episodes themselves. Turns out that this harmless girl is responsible for a family's divorce. I wish I was joking. To give you some background, welcome to Digimon the movie. I know it seems completely out of nowhere, but just bear with me, please. This came out at the start of the century, and while it doesn't go down as one of the better stories around the time, oof, there was something here that got people talking for all the wrong reasons. Before Digimon the movie would curse everyone's eyes in the theater, there was a surprise. Instead of the monster hunting you knew and loved, Angela Anaconda herself made an appearance out of absolutely nowhere. She had a 4-minute short in the same unsettling style of the show, but with a storyline centered around watching Digimon the movie. She and her friends are hyped to watch, but they run into some of their own problems along the way.
Well, not for long. Angela Anaconda Digivolves to Angelamon!
Looking back, you start questioning why a crossover like this would even happen at all, and I'm never gonna be able to answer that. Obviously it was done to promote both properties.
While I can't confirm for sure, but my understanding is that it's because both Digimon and Anaconda were just the most popular shows on Fox Kids.
But I doubt there were many Digimon fans that also had the specific interest of Angela Anaconda. Anyway, people weren't happy. Not only was the short negatively received in pretty much every way possible, it ended up leading to a divorce. In June 2018, an anonymous 4chan user posted a mini-story about how their parents' lives were changed forever because of this. OP didn't realize at the time, but the relationship between their parents was rocky. They begged their parents to see the Digimon movie, and they agreed. So it was like a way for them to spend time together. OP got to the theater, excited to watch the adventures unfold, and the parents were happy too. The Angela Anaconda short comes on, and OP along with their parents got confused about a random Canadian cartoon girl running around in a Digimon suit. OP started crying and is pulled out of the theater by the parents. Mom and Dad blame each other for going to the wrong movie. Dad throws away the popcorn Mom wanted. There's arguing, then crying. They leave the parking lot in a rush, get into an accident, and the dad moves out a month later. Now okay, this story may seem far-fetched, but keep in mind what we're dealing with here. Almost nobody was happy with this short, whether it be because people thought it would last the full movie, or since this cartoon was just an unfamiliar property that didn't deserve time on the big screen, especially when the focus is Digimon the movie. There's always the chance this story is fake, considering it was posted anonymously, and this is the internet we're talking about. But still, with the terrible reception of Angela and her short, this whole thing isn't out of the realm of possibility. If this actually was the final piece that pushed two parents to divorce, it's sad, but you can't deny it's really funny too. But what are your thoughts about Angela Anaconda causing a divorce?
Alrighty then. Well, here are my thoughts. I do think it's fake. People do make up stuff all the time on the internet, and it's written with a very clickbaity headline, it's written in a very exaggerated way. And while I do think it's funny, I have just heard this story a lot, it overall feels more like an excuse to hate on the show more than anything else, which people will go along with because it's very unpopular. And if you hate the show, that's totally fine. People are well within their rights to have negative opinions. But judge it based on its own merit and the content of its own content. If a children's cartoon is enough to break up a marriage, that's not a very good marriage to begin with. If anything, they did them a favor if things really were that bad. Assuming it's real. But you could have put anything in that situation and the result would have been the same. You could have put the Frozen short. You could have put Barbie, or Rick and Morty, or Star Wars, or a churro. Anything could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. And we can and do get negative associations with things for one reason or another. Say if your childhood bully was someone who's really into Barbie, you might not like Barbie. If your obnoxious cousin was obsessed with NASCAR, you might be turned off from NASCAR. But that doesn't automatically mean that the things themselves are bad. And in the case of Anaconda, if there was truly nothing of value in it, we would not be talking about it 20 years later. And I definitely understand people not liking that the short is part of the actual film and that it wasn't marketed. But the short itself is not even that bad. The characters are excited to see Digimon just like the audience was, and it's kept to an appropriately short running time. Maybe it's not the best reflection of the show, but it certainly isn't the worst either. It is a very unique show. It does have a very distinctive art style. We remember it 20 years later because it's very memorable, because it's interesting, because it's distinctive. If you don't like the show, you don't like the show. But there are legitimate fans out there. And if you were at least remotely curious, I highly recommend you check it out for yourself and form your own opinions.